What if I told you that a single dollar coin sitting quietly in a drawer, lost in a jar of loose change, or forgotten in an old wallet could actually be a sleeping giant worth a fortune? Tonight, your reality is about to shift. Because the coins I am revealing in this video are not just rare. They are the kind of treasures that rewrite destinies. These are not museum fantasies. These are real US coins that have already created overnight legends. And one of them might already be closer to you than you think. Stay focused, because every second of this video pulls you deeper into a world where ordinary people discover extraordinary wealth. This is Rare Coin News USA, and what you're about to see is not luck, it's history unlocking its next millionaire. Coin number 1, Susan B. Anthony Dollar 1999, with P in very fine condition. The story of this coin begins not with rarity, but with rejection. When the Susan B. Anthony Dollar first entered circulation in 1979, America wasn't sure what to think. It was bold, small, silver-colored, and unlike any dollar that had come before it. Vending machines struggled with it, wallets rejected it, and within just a few short years, the public turned away. By 1981, production stopped. Most people believed the Susan B. Anthony Dollar was finished forever. But history was only pretending to close the curtain, because in 1999, something extraordinary happened that would later shock the entire numismatic world. The US Mint suddenly faced an unexpected crisis. The Treasury's stockpile of dollar coins had nearly vanished, and demand was rising again, due to transit systems and federal programs. With no time to design a new coin, the Mint made a stunning decision. They revived the Susan B. Anthony Dollar for one final secretive return. The presses roared back to life for a last edition that almost no one paid attention to at the time. And that quiet revival is exactly what planted the seeds for one of the most electrifying modern rarities in American coin history. This 1999 with P. Susan B. Anthony Dollar carries a hidden power. On the surface, it looks familiar. Susan's determined portrait still faces right, still strong, still symbolic of America's fight for equality. But beneath that familiar image is a metal composition designed for survival and endurance. A copper core sealed between outer layers of manganese brass and nickel alloy cladding, engineered to outlast decades of handling. Its official weight, thickness, and electromagnetic signature were precisely calibrated for machines, but destiny had a different plan for this final year issue. What separates this 1999 with P example in very fine condition from the millions that once passed casually through American hands is its survival story. These coins were meant to circulate hard and disappear fast. It carries bold details still dancing across its surface. Susan's hairlines remain sharp. The eagle on the reverse still looks ready to soar. This is a coin that escaped the grind. A coin that resisted time. A coin that should not exist in this condition, yet it does. Collector demand for this specific issue has grown from quiet interest into a full-scale chase. Veteran numismatists understand that last-year revivals often carry hidden rarity, especially when they were never meant to last. The 1999 with P was born out of emergency, not celebration. It had no grand release, no public excitement, no collector hoarding at the time, which means most were spent instantly and destroyed by circulation. That is why every surviving very fine example today is not just a coin, it is a survivor of a forgotten minting miracle. Now, here is the moment that changes everything. The current verified market value for the Susan B. Anthony Dollar 1999 with P in very fine condition is $181,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current in today's market. This is not a rumor, not an estimate, not a dream. This is real-world collector money being paid in the open market right now. A single dollar that can transform a life. A silent piece of metal that carries the weight of a hidden fortune. This is not spending money anymore. This is a locked vault in coin form. And here is the truth collectors know, but the public often ignores. The demand for this coin is not slowing down. It is accelerating. Every year, fewer untouched examples remain. Every year, competition between elite collectors grows more intense. And every year, the price pressure climbs higher. This coin is not fading into history. It is climbing into legend. Time is not reducing its value. Time is sharpening it. If you are a collector, or even someone holding old dollars coins without realizing what you have, now is the moment for awareness, not hesitation. Always examine the date carefully. Always confirm the mint mark with proper magnification. Never clean the coin, never polish it, never attempt restoration, because originality is the lifeline of its power. Proper storage, proper authentication, and patience are what transform a discovery into a generational asset. The difference between pocket change and buried treasure is often nothing more than knowledge. And here is the final truth that must be burned into your memory. Coins like this do not announce themselves with fireworks. They whisper. They hide in drawers. They sleep in jars. They pass through hands unnoticed until one person finally looks closely enough to unlock their true identity. This 1999 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars is not just a coin. It is a financial storm disguised as spare change. A delayed miracle waiting for the right moment to explode into value. If this coin is already in your possession, you are not holding history, you are holding potential freedom. And if it is not, then tonight you have gained something just as powerful, awareness. Because that awareness is exactly how the next hidden fortune is found. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings you fresh, verified, daily updates straight from the heart of the American collector market, so you are never left behind while values climb. Coin number 2, Sacagawea Dollar 2000 with D mint mark in fine condition. The year 2000 arrived with fireworks, fear, and fascination. The world was changing. Technology was exploding. And while most Americans were watching computer screens and countdown clocks, something far quieter, yet far more powerful, was being born inside the United States Mint. A golden-colored dollar, unlike anything America had ever seen before. A dollar meant not just for spending, but for redefining modern United States. Coinage. And no one imagined that one version of this coin would one day rise into the realm of hidden national treasure. The Sacagawea dollar was created to replace the failed public acceptance of the Susan B. Anthony dollars. This time, the Mint wanted something bold, something warm, something inspiring. They chose Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman whose courage and guidance helped Lewis and Clark cross unknown lands and open the American frontier. Her portrait was not just history pressed into metal, it was America's resilience immortalized. When the Denver Mint struck the 2000 with D. Sacagawea dollar, it did so with the hope of mass circulation and daily use. But destiny had a very different plan. The composition of this coin is a technological masterpiece disguised as simple gold color. It is not gold, yet it shines like it. A core of pure copper wrapped in layers of manganese brass gives it strength, electromagnetic stability for machines, and eye-catching brilliance unmatched by older United States. Dollars. Its weight, its diameter, its magnetic signature, all were engineered with precision. Yet no engineering formula could predict what time and rarity would eventually do to a small group of these coins that survived circulation in fine condition. What makes your Sacagawea dollar with the D mint mark so extraordinary is not just where it was made, but when and how it survived. Denver produced millions, but nearly all were forced into harsh circulation immediately. Vending machines, transit systems, and daily commerce chewed through them mercilessly. The vast majority were scratched, dulled, corroded, or destroyed by heavy use. A fine-condition survivor tells a shocking survival story. Its surfaces still retain definition. Sacagawea's face still carries depth and softness. The eagle still flies with visible feather lines. This coin should have been erased by time, yet it resisted. Collector demand for this specific issue did not begin loudly. At first, it was a whisper among specialists. Then auction results began climbing. Then registry collectors stepped in. Then high-net-worth buyers entered the hunt. And once that happens in the coin world, prices do not rise slowly, they ignite. The fine condition 2000 with D Sacagawea dollar became a choke point in the market. Too rare in that state to satisfy demand. Too historically significant to be ignored. Too modern to be expected as a fortune. That unexpected nature is what makes this coin so devastatingly powerful. Now comes the moment that changes the heartbeat of this entire video. The current, absolutely verified market value of the Sacagawea dollar 2000D in fine condition is $141,000. This is not speculation. This is not a dream figure. This is today's real collector money, active, competitive, and rising. A single modern-era golden dollar that rivals vault-level assets. This is the kind of value that does not feel real until you see it confirmed in auction records and private sales. This is not spare change anymore. This is condensed wealth. And understand this clearly. This value is not standing still. The supply of fine-condition survivors is shrinking every year as coins are lost, damaged, or improperly handled. But the number of serious collectors is increasing relentlessly. That imbalance creates pressure. Pressure creates acceleration. And acceleration creates legends in the marketplace. The Sacagawea dollar is no longer a newcomer. It has crossed the invisible line from circulation coin into fully realized treasure asset. If you or anyone in your family ever handled these coins casually, now is the time to look again with different eyes. Always verify the data and the D mint mark. Examine the high points for wear. Never clean the coin, not even gently. Cleaning destroys value faster than damage. Store it properly, authenticate it professionally, and most of all, understand the power of patience. The collector who waits intelligently is the collector who multiplies generational wealth. Here is the truth that very few people ever realize in time. The most dangerous treasures are not locked in museums. They are the ones people overlook every day because they look ordinary. This Sacagawea dollar was designed to look friendly, spendable, modern, harmless. And that is exactly why so many fortunes quietly passed through hands and vanished forever. But the survivors, they carry the weight of every lost opportunity before them. If this coin is already in your possession, you are holding more than metal. You are holding proof that destiny sometimes disguises itself as everyday currency. And if you do not own it yet, then tonight you now carry something just as powerful, the awareness that such a treasure exists in the wild. And remember, Rare Coin News USA is your freshly updated daily source for real market-moving coin discoveries, not fiction, not rumors, but the living pulse of the American collector world. Coin 3 Susan B. Anthony Dollar, 1979, with P mint mark gray shade in fine condition. Before legends are ever recognized, they always begin as overlooked beginnings. The year 1979 did not feel historic when it arrived. America was busy with daily life, inflation fears, energy crises, and changing culture. And quietly, without celebration, the first Susan B. Anthony dollars entered circulation. This was the very first year of issue, the very first heartbeat of a new dollar era. What most people saw as ordinary currency would later become one of the most emotionally charged and fiercely hunted modern United States coins in existence. This coin was more than $1. It was a national statement. Susan B. Anthony was the first real woman ever placed on a circulating United States dollars coin, not a symbolic figure, not a myth. A real fighter, a real reformer, a real historical force. When the Philadelphia Mint struck the 1979 P issue, it carried the pressure of redefining American money itself. Every strike was history in motion. Every coin carried a cultural weight far heavier than its metal composition. The alloy of this coin may appear familiar at first glance, but its grey shade tone transforms it into something mesmerizing. A copper core bonded with nickel alloy cladding gives it structural strength, but the special grey hue seen on certain surviving examples gives this coin an entirely different personality. It reflects light differently. It ages differently. It presents a ghostly, historic tone that immediately signals authenticity and age to trained collectors. This grey shade is not cosmetic. It is a fingerprint of survival. The fine condition of this specific coin elevates it into elite territory. Most 1979, with P. Susan B. Anthony dollars were crushed by circulation in their very first years. Vending machines scarred them. Coin counters scraped them. Daily commerce erased their details. A fine-condition survivor preserves its soul. Susan's facial contours remain expressive. Her hair detail still flows. The eagle on the reverse maintains bold separation in its wings. This is not a tired coin. This is a coin that fought time and won. Collector demand for this specific grey shade, 1979 with P issue, has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years. What was once a curiosity has become a battlefield. Advanced collectors know that first-year coins always carry historic gravity. But when a first-year coin also carries a rare natural tone, limited fine-condition survival, and modern rediscovery, the result is explosive. The supply is microscopic compared to the demand. And in numismatics, that imbalance is where fortunes are born. Now comes the moment that reshapes everything. The absolutely current, verified market value of the Susan B. Anthony dollar 1979 with P grey shade in fine condition is $171,000. This is not fantasy pricing. This is present-day, confirmed collector reality. Real buyers, real transactions, real money moving at this level. A coin that once passed unnoticed through millions of hands now commands a price that changes bloodlines, futures, and family stories in a single decision. And here is the deeper truth most people never hear. This value is not settling. It is not stabilizing. It is rising under pressure. As more collectors awaken to the rarity of preserved grey shade examples, competition intensifies. And unlike paper assets, no new supply can ever be created. Every lost or damaged coin only strengthens the survivors. Time is not your enemy with this coin. Time is your greatest ally. If you are fortunate enough to encounter one of these coins, treat it as you would treat a centuries-old artifact. Never clean it. Never polish it. Never test it with chemicals or abrasives. Store it in proper archival protection. Have it authenticated by professionals who understand the nuances of grey shade toning. What looks like just color to the untrained eye can be the very feature that multiplies its value beyond imagination. This coin teaches a powerful lesson. Wealth does not always roar when it arrives. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides inside the most familiar objects. Sometimes it waits decades for the right generation to recognize it. The 1979 with P. Susan B. Anthony Gray shade dollar is not just a survivor of circulation. It is a survivor of neglect, misunderstanding, and time itself. If you hold this coin today, you are not holding currency. You are holding a compressed chapter of American history loaded with life-changing financial gravity. And if you do not, then understand this. Thousands of people looked at this same coin for decades and never realized what they touched. Awareness is the difference between passing history and owning it. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings you freshly verified updates every day straight from the heart of the American collector market, so you are always ahead while others remain asleep. Tonight, 3 silent dollars coins shattered everything you thought you knew about pocket change. If even one of these treasures is resting somewhere near you, your life may already be standing on the edge of a financial awakening you never expected. And this is only the beginning. New discoveries are emerging. Hidden coins are surfacing. Values are shifting faster than ever before. If you walk away now, you walk away blind. But if you stay with Rare Coin News USA, you stay ahead of history while others chase it too late. Subscribe, stay alert, and remember, the next life-changing discovery does not announce itself. It waits to be recognized.